Replicants are like any other machine. They're either a benefit or a hazard. If they're a benefit, it's not my problem. Welcome to the Pixel Pop Movie Podcast. I'm the ultra regular Toby, and this fortnight I'm joined with the regular Lucas.
Kind of regular, but like not really regular.
It depends how much bran he's had.
Yep.
And the semi-regular, probably could do with some more bran, Jesse.
Hello.
What was that? The part of Jesse will be played by Fuzzy Bear this week. Waka waka waka. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about this week. We were sort of debating a little bit over what we're going to do for our topic of conversation for this fortnight, but we feel that there's enough that's been happening over at the New York Comic Con this weekend that we could probably prattle on about that for half an hour and hopefully give you something interesting and some insights into what's been going on and maybe generate some conversation of your own. But let's get cracking with some of the latest news. Take us away, Lucas.
Cool. So I think probably the biggest piece of news is obviously we've had Blade Runner 2049 open up on Thursday here, Friday in the States. It's opened up.
Did.
I feel like Toby's going to get into it in a minute, but so far across the worldwide, they've managed to gross about 42 million, which it looks like they're scheduled in to make about 50 mil, but a lot of like news media are coming out and saying that it's underperforming, which I think we're going to get stuck into in a minute, but it's definitely not when you compare it against stuff that's like the superhero movies and they hit 100 million. Like now everything's expected to hit 100 million, otherwise it's a flop.
That's just so ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I've got to be Ryan
you
Gosling.
think about it, you think about Jurassic World or a Marvel movie or a DC movie where it's an action-packed summer flick that it's aimed at pretty much all ages, and it doesn't really even matter what genre of movie into. You're going to go and get a popcorn and sit down and watch Iron Man and Thor and Hulk kick the crap out of stuff. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to go see that, right? Something like Blade Runner, that's like saying, why didn't My Little Pony make $100 million in the opening weekend? You know what I mean? Like,
seriously though, why didn't My Little Pony make 100 million?
I don't know. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I mean, there's a lot of My Little Pony people out there that are definitely good. And from everything I've heard, actually, the animation is apparently very good. And the fans of My Little Pony, both young and old, from everything I have heard personally, have said it's really good and they enjoyed it. So,
listen, we're here to talk about Blade Runner, but let's just quickly segue off into My Little Pony.
Yeah. But the point is, it's more of a niche. It's more of a niche audience, right? Like it's not something that everybody's going to go and see. And Blade Runner, despite the hype and the marketing and all the rest of it, I think is still very much the same thing. It's not as broad. And for anybody to sort of say, oh, it's not doing the same $100 million that Avengers did, is a bloody idiot.
It's like it's two extremes. Like
it is.
You can expect like a big summer blockbuster, like any like even a Fast and Furious or a superhero movie to make 100 million because it like of its target audience. But this has a very specific, like you said, a very specific target audience. There's no way they're going to make 100 million on a very, very gritty sequel to a movie from 35 years ago.
Well, not to mention, I'm pretty sure it's rated R in the US. I'm pretty sure it's, they're R17, which is MA here. An R-rated film, it really restricts your dollars in the cinema. And I know that was something Marvel was very cautious about with Deadpool and all that, because it's like, well, how many dollars are we losing here by going R? So
they're thinking, make all the things R.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Hopefully.
But
like Punisher.
Yeah,
I beat Toby to it, haha.
Yeah, I was going to make a Punisher reference, I mean, when Punisher comes out, the whole world will see it, right?
Sure.
The whole world.
What a fun time that's going to be.
Can't wait. Well, it would have been this weekend, but, we'll get into that later.
We'll get stuck into that later.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, look, I have seen Blade Runner. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. As someone who's a massive fan of the original, I give it 11 out of 10. I've seen one or two people say they're a little bit disappointed. Most of the negative comments I've seen come from people that haven't seen the original, perhaps, or don't remember the original, or perhaps don't even enjoy the original.
I went to shit on the new one.
I think the runtime, yes, you could argue was probably a little bit long. There was certainly, I feel the editing could have been tightened a little bit. And if anything, if you were going to do a director's cut, I'd probably would have chopped about half an hour out of it. But For those who are fans, any extra time we could spend in that world was appreciated. And there was a lot of apprehension because it's like, well, how do you continue that story? It was fairly sort of rounded, and everything they did in the script, I think, was brilliant. It was clever. It managed to maintain a degree of it answered some questions, it left others ambiguous. It also sort of made you question even more things, including things that happened in the first film. I think the script was just absolutely brilliant, to be honest. Hampton Francher, I think it is, his name, was absolutely on point. With help from Michael Green. And a lot of people went, oh, Michael Green, he did Green Lantern movie. Sure, but go and have a look at everything else the guy did as well afterwards. And he's done some amazing films. Some absolutely...
My Little Pony.
Yeah, right. No, he's done some huge stuff. So, if you haven't seen it at the cinema, do yourself a favour. Go and see it. Especially if you have any interest at all in the original. It's just fucking amazing.
Just a quick question in regards to non-spoiler stuff.
Yeah.
I know obviously with last year and Suicide Squad, Jared Leto copped a bit of flack for his acting and that. How is Jared Leto in Blade Runner? Was he what you thought he would be from the trailers? Was he kind of was he shit?
He's a fucking lunatic.
That doesn't really answer the question because we know in real life he's a lunatic.
No, which is why he plays the part so well. The character that he plays is essentially a megalomaniac.
So he's playing himself?
Yeah, but the point is, it was well cast. The character is supposed to be ambiguous. The character, out of all the characters in that movie, probably poses the most questions and provides the least amount of answers. So he's fairly ambiguous. You're really not sure about him at all. What is he? What's his agenda? You've got his basic overriding goal, sure, but there's always that question of, what is motivating him and all this sort of stuff. There is. I don't think they'll do a third, but there sure is a lot they could do in a third. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not talks of doing a TV series, but I think if they went down that path, it would be shit. So I hope they don't.
So obviously, now you've said that, they will absolutely go down that path.
Yeah, I really hope that, because the amount of attention to detail you need to put into the script and the acting and the lighting and the sets and all that sort of stuff to do it properly, you just couldn't do on a TV show. But it'd have to be bigger than Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that. What you were saying before, I was just going to add on to say I'm a massive fan of Blade Runner. It's, as far as I'm concerned, I really do think Blade Runner is one of those few films that's a near perfect film in itself. But I really think the meat of Blade Runner, aside from how good the script is and is like you said, the iconic lighting and set design of Blade Runner. That's the thing I think that sticks out for people, and that's what it's sort of become synonymous with, is just that really amazing atmosphere. And I think that was the big thing that a lot of people I saw in reviews were saying about Denis Villeneuve's version now, is he really got that practical version right.
Yeah, it's a very rich tapestry, and it's sort of if you've watched Lord of the Rings or you watch the making of stuff, and they show you how much detail they go into making those sets and detailing them and the original Blade Runner. You see those panning shots of Deckard's apartment, for instance, and just the amount of setup time that must have been. Apart from dressing the set, but then doing all the lighting and the smoke and everything else. The amount and then
of
having
rain.
the rain, and then the background noises like the fan, and then the lights. The lights make sound. Why? That doesn't make any sense logically, but it looks artistically, it's fucking brilliant. It's that sort of detail that just went into the film that gave it so many layers that you could just keep looking deeper and deeper and deeper and finding more and more in it. And it's continued and into the new film. And as I said, I think if you went into a TV series, you would lose all of that. So I hope they don't. But back on point, Leto. Yeah, look, I've seen him in a few things. He obviously does cop a lot of flack. Originally, I believe they wanted David Bowie for the part. I read. Oh. Yeah.
I heard that a while ago too.
And that would have been very interesting too. I think he probably could have done the part as well. Look, Leto plays a bastard quite well, and that's what the role required. He's very much a method actor. He wore contacts that actually literally blinded him for 12 hours a day.
Jesus.
Just so he could sort of
get in that mindset.
That's how he needs. That's the thing is with Leto. You know, having watched in a few interviews with him now, that's he jokes, if I was a better actor, I wouldn't need to do that. That's just what he needs to get in a headspace. That's just his form of method acting. Obviously, a lot of people don't agree with it, but yeah, look, his part isn't huge. He doesn't do. He doesn't have a lot of scenes, but the character is meant to be a megalomaniac and an arsehole, and he does that really well. So, credit to the guy.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, and as well, like, just to kind of give you an idea of like how fans and audiences and critics are reacting, it's got an 89% score on Rotten Tomatoes with an average score of about 8.2, and currently on IMDb it's sitting at 8.7. So it sounds like it's going to be one of the top contenders in movie of the year.
Yeah, look, I have no. I mean, even I think we've got Star Wars coming out late this year, don't we? It's this year.
Yeah,
Star Wars.
December 6th or 8th or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to make more at the box office because it's going to hit a broader demographic and it's Star Wars. But Blade Runner's going to give it a run for its money, for sure. Especially with the older demographic, I think.
I was actually going to say to you before when you were talking about the the 42 million intake and everything. I honestly, from where I stand, that really sounds to me like clickbaity articles, because I mean, like, you look at stuff like Spotlight or Arrival did pretty well, but like every other movie that's been one of those movies that's a really well crafted film that wasn't like broad appeal, of course they're not going to make the kind of like Jurassic World money that big blockbusters make.
But those summer blockbusters they need that huge spike, because typically you don't see the sales, the follow-on sales.
They peter
Blade
off,
Runner, the original Blade Runner flopped at the cinema and then went on to become an enormous franchise. It's like $80 to buy a freaking glass on eBay, one of the bourbon glasses.
I paid $300 5 years ago for a mold of the little squares that are in Deckard's apartment walls. So one day I could get someone to actually make apartment.
This is what we're talking about. Like, that's where you're at. Like, and you just, as much as people are going to go and like, I own every Marvel Blu-ray, I'm not going to go buy a shot glass for $300 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, basically, that Tony Stark uses. It's just a different tier, and I think the follow-on sales for Blade Runner will certainly make up for it. And Denis Villeneuve is, I mean, he's absolutely set. His career is just locked in perfectly. I know he was very nervous with this movie going in, because it was going to make or break his career, and it's made it. And he's going off. They're writing the script for June at the moment, and I can't wait. Like, and if he manages to kick a goal with June, and I think he will, the guy could pretty much walk into any Hollywood studio and go, I'm going to make the most retarded thing ever, give me $500 million, and they'll just throw cash at him.
Is David Lynch on board for June?
David Lynch doesn't talk about June at all, ever.
I don't think so, yeah, because I know how he feels about June, but I was wondering if he might have come back given the success.
I watched an interview with Denis Villeneuve, and he was saying that, like, they're going right back to the book. Like this, they're not looking at the films. They're not looking at the series. He says he appreciates what Lynch had done, but he also went to talk about the difficulties and all the rest of it. No, this is going to be completely fresh.
Okay,
stand alone from everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like what you were saying about Denis Villeneuve, like I don't even know if I've said on the podcast before, but like, as I've said to you, I'm a massive fan of Denis Villeneuve. I think he's the best director working these days. But like you said, this was his Jurassic World. This was like his Colin Trevorrow moment where they're like, you're a good director, and we'd like to see you take on a big franchise. Let's see how you do. And I think now Denis has actually got it made for like mass audiences, because I don't know anyone ever. I've never met anybody that's watched Enemy, but that's a phenomenal movie that he did with Jake Gyllenhaal, and it it's like one of those things like that, and Prisoners more mainstream, but Enemy is like just an excellent movie. And now, I'd just love to see him take on bigger things. Yeah, well, June doesn't get much bigger in sci-fi than June. Because everybody who's ever touched it has fucked it up, so... this is going to be really... It's a hard thing to do. Oh, absolutely. Of course it is. But then again, when you look at the original book for Arrival, and trying to translate that whole language thing in the book into a film, I mean, like that was also incredibly difficult, so... Yeah, it's a monster effort. Yeah. Alright, well, we could sit here and talk about Blade Runner. I could sit here and talk about Blade Runner for 15 hours, but we should probably move on. We should. And the last piece of news that isn't superhero related, which we'll kind of get into, but
they've just announced that Kate Winslet is going to be cast in the Avatar sequels.
And that was a great career from Kate. Thank you very much for playing, and we'll catch you next time.
Penny whistle solo.
Yep.
Is it just me, or does Cameron sort of... I mean, he has his Bobby De Niro's, but he has lots of Bobby De Niro's, and he's like, well, I'm just going to keep bringing back the same people over and over again.
Wait for Linda Hamilton to show up.
I don't think she'll show up.
Well, she'll be busy with Terminator.
Arnie comes in as like a massive fucking Navi.
Giant Navi. He's like, what are you doing here?
You could just see... I've got this mental image of me at the cinema watching Avatar 2, and don't ask why. And the movie's just getting worse and worse and worse, and then the guy in the projection booth is just like, Alt F4, doom, 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 and everyone in the cinema goes, yep, that's fair enough. Just walks out calmly.
It just has the whole server down page.
Yeah, just 404.
404.
Movie cannot be found. James Cameron's career cannot be found.
But on top of that as well, so Kate Winslet's been cast, and she's actually been cast, they noted specifically in sequels, so it sounds like she's going to appear in just 2. They've also confirmed as well that Cliff Curtis, who was in Fear the Walking Dead, he's one of the main characters, Travis. Mm-hmm. And Una Chaplin, who was Talissa Stark in Game of Thrones, Rob's wife, who he married right before the Red Wedding. We all know how that went.
She wasn't the porno star one, was she?
No.
No. So this is the one we were talking before. She's actually a descendant of Charlie Chaplin.
All right, good on her.
Yeah, so the two of them as well have been cast in an undisclosed number of films.
Right.
Cliff Curtis as well has been cast. Cliff Curtis has actually been cast as a lead.
What are we going to do when these movies come out and nobody in the entire Pixel Pop Network team goes to see them? We just can't review these films ever.
We should just make a special podcast where we try and think of what the plot lines will be.
We'll just record an hour of silence.
Yeah, we'll just pitch our own Avatar sequels.
Right.
So, if Avatar was a rip-off of Pocahontas, won't this just be a rip-off of Pocahontas 2?
There was a Pocahontas
that's
2?
my logical. Yeah, the animated one. It was called Journey to the New World or something, and it was where she ends up in England, and it was shit. It was straight to DVD.
Oh, well, in that case, all the Na'vi are going to piss off to Earth, and it'll be on Earth, right? It's like Crocodile Dundee 2.
No, Crocodile Dundee goes to LA.
Yeah.
They'll be walking around going, no, that's a mech.
So that's kind of a small piece of news that we don't really care about, but
they might
like Avatar. Yeah.
If you do, I'm surprised you're still listening to this podcast.
With how badly we rag on them.
Subscribe right now.
The next piece of news.
So much hype, Lucas, so much hype.
Oh, dude, so keen.
I know.
They've officially started production on Glass, which, for those who don't know and haven't heard me and Ethan talking about it, it's going to be the sequel to 2001's Unbreakable and this year's Split. If you haven't seen Split, I've just ruined the ending for you, but who cares? You should have seen it by now because it's so fucking good.
You literally ruined the ending.
I don't care. I don't care.
I haven't seen it.
It's so good.
Spoiled.
But then, I didn't mind Unbreakable, but I don't have it on such a lofty pedestal as you.
I consider it one of the best films ever made.
You think everything is the best film ever made?
No, Unbreakable is probably one of my favorite movies because I didn't.
I watched that.
I think I watched that when I was 14.
Yeah.
And I just remember watching it and just being I didn't realize it was a superhero movie, and just because it just progresses to a point where it's it goes from being this guy who survives a train crash into a superhero movie out of the blue. To me, that twist came out of nowhere in the mind of a 14-year-old, and I'm just this movie's fucking incredible. And then when we saw Split as well, I thought Split was fantastic.
But it's also the only quote-unquote superhero movie out there that is actually gritty realism.
Yeah, and it sits outside the tropes too.
Yeah, everything after that was Nolan comes in and gritty realism.
Punisher.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. That bit where he fights the Russian in his apartment and the Russian falls down the stairs, that was definitely real.
It was.
Yeah. That was the realest thing I've ever seen.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. We'll wait till he comes out to. We'll wait till he comes out to Australia for a con, and then we'll get you to interview Jason Berntham, and you can tell him that his character is shit and fake. Okay.
I'll just say, Jason,
and I'm going to record it.
I loved you and everything else.
Yeah, I'm going to record it. because we'll need it for insurance.
That's okay if I just hop on the back of his head and hold onto his ears. He won't be able to punch me.
I mean, you guys can you can interview Jason Bertham if you want. I'll interview John, who it really is the Punisher. If you were an actual fan,
no, you said Jason.
You both said Jason.
Did we? Oh, we did too.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you Muppets.
Oh, well.
But yeah, Glass, like they put the slate on Instagram. I think it was like yesterday or the day before, and started in production. I am so far on this hype train. Like I can't wait.
Yep.
Pulling out of the station.
Yeah, pulling out of that station and then going into we're gonna call Angertown.
Just quickly. Because for those who haven't seen it, there was a leaked image of the what looks to be a Stranger Things season 1 box set release, and it's really cool.
Boy!
It's it looks like a well-worn VHS cassette tape box. And it looks really, really good, and I hope it is genuine. It looks like a real photo. It's got like a Target price tag on it, and it seems to be a whole box of them. So, yeah, I love the fact that they're just keeping the 80s theme through everything, like all the marketing as well. Great stuff.
How cool would it be if, when you press play on the movie, it has unskippable ads before it?
That'd be fucking terrible.
Do not pirate this.
Don't do that. I hate it when they do that already on my Blu-rays, and it's like, well, Australian films are fantastic, and I'm like, yes, they're even better when I can skip this shit.
I supported it. I bought the damn thing legally.
Exactly. Yeah, put the ads on the pirate
Leave me alone.
Stop preaching to me.
All right, let's let Lucas put on his boxing gloves.
All right, so yeah, there's about to be a fight. So, so it's come out that the DCEU is no longer officially an interconnected universe. This is fucking bananas. Because, like, the way it's going to work, right, we have, like, a little chat that me and Jesse and Ethan and Toby are a part of, and this is literally what I wrote word for word. So the DCEU is no longer interconnected in the sense like the MCU is, and each film will exist within its own universe, but some characters will cross over into pieces like Justice League, and other characters like the Joker for the Joker Origins film for Scorsese will be the same character recast under an imprint film studio that's yet to be announced. Like, how do they work this? Like, it can't work and make sense. It's so fucking dumb.
Like the Trump Towers of DCEU. They're just handing out their name to other people to make money off of.
It's like they're gonna have 3 Jokers in the same like in the same continuity of films.
You watch. This is all Jared Leto's fault. This is because he wants to leave. And they'll be like, fine, Jared, we'll just say that they're not connected, okay? You can fuck off forever and make other Blade Runner movies.
No, he actually wants to come back and do the Harley Quinn movie. So,
okay, so sorry, Jared, you can come back now.
Yeah, so I think they said something about Gotham City Sirens being put on the back burner in favor of a Harley Joker movie. And he's coming back.
Because David Ayer fucked up Suicide Squad so bad.
I don't know. Well, he was coming back to do Gotham City Sirens, and he didn't really... He fucked it up because DC were like, you have 12 days to write a script, go. Like, you're on the clock now.
Okay, every female character in Gotham is in the movie, done.
Yeah. Well, no, that was for Suicide Squad. With this one, they're actually letting him take his time. Well, like, that was the plan for Gotham City Sirens, but now it sounds like they're not doing Gotham City Sirens anymore, and they're going to be doing Harley Joker instead, and Jared Leto's coming back. But then that movie is going to exist outside the Suicide Squad universe, and like it feels like they're taking a comic book approach to film.
But it's like,
it's not going to work.
Like, what are they doing? I mean, Wonder Woman was their fucking holy grail. They've got a second chance now. Yeah. It's kind of like they've managed to regather the ball to run it, and then they've just gone, no, let's not go for 6 points and try to win the game. Let's just go for like 1 point and see what happens. It's so dumb.
It could also be from there. Like, I'm just trying to get in their headspace. It could also be more of a sort of an insurance policy. It's sort of like, well, we're going to try, but we're not going to promise you. Simply because think about all the back and forth they've had with a lot of their lead actors. You know, Affleck, Leto, whatever have you. There's never a guarantee that they're sort of coming back for the next one. So perhaps they're sort of saying this so that, you know, to avoid disappointment, maybe.
Yeah, I think it might be a case of like they're doing this as well so that maybe people
because obviously their
franchise
franchise
people
is
stop comparing it.
Yeah, obviously their franchise isn't doing strong enough that they can get people to sign on for like 3, 4, 5 movies like that Marvel's been doing.
And they're also obviously not doing strongly enough that the studio even feels confident enough to like go all in yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is what's bananas about it, right? The original cut of Batman vs Superman, which we got in the director's cut, that was the one that all the studio heads saw, and were like, "This is fucking incredible." Which, if they had have led with that film rather than putting out the theatrical cut that they did, not being scared of putting a 3-hour runtime onto a film, like that's all that they were worried about. They weren't worried about like, you know, is the theatrical cut that they did put out, is it going to be superior to the director's cut? Like, the director's cut was always the vision it was meant to be, but when they saw it was 3 hours, they were like, shit, we need to cut it down. If they had led with that 3-hour cut, I don't think we'd be having the same conversation we're having now. I think we would be having, it would be a lot more pro DC, but
yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm
still happy watching Adam West.
Yeah. well,
we've got to find new actors to be in the DC universe.
Well, that decision though to move that down to 2.5 hours directly impacted Suicide Squad and made it shit. Because the original cut of that was apparently meant to be very different, very gritty, and they had to lighten it up.
Yeah,
which
you can really see that when you watch Suicide Squad. There is a real movie in there somewhere. It's like trapped and crying.
Yeah, and then it was like, because Batman vs Superman was too dark, they were like, shit, we need to make Suicide Squad funny. When like Suicide Squad was funny to a point in the comics, but it wasn't a comedy. Like they tried to make it. It's just dumb. They don't know what they're doing with their own franchise, and it pisses me off because it could be like these movies outside of Wonder Woman, right? These movies could be incredible if they just like stick to the vision that they were going in the first place. We wouldn't have any problems, I feel.
They should have just done what they did with Patty Jenkins. I don't know by what miracle it happened, but you know, the studio just didn't interfere with her and have their freaking people with clipboards come in and be like, you know, audience statistics say this and market research says that, Patty, don't make that movie, okay? Don't make this movie about all these women on a fucking boring island and then eventually they fight somebody on, you know, in a fucking hangar.
Yeah, and to
like,
try and...
realistically, that's all that happens in Wonder Woman, and it was an excellent movie.
But to try and to not get into this territory, though, because I feel like this is going to be a bit of a controversial topic, could you imagine the outrage that would have come from a bunch of, like, old white guys telling a woman how to direct a project about a woman when the whole thing about them putting Wonder Woman into a film was about female superheroes and female empowerment and all that? Could you just, like, imagine the outrage if that had happened?
Yeah, it would have been like they would have had a field day on like for press for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, Warner Brothers would have got destroyed.
Let's be honest. There was backlash on both sides, regardless. You know, there always will be. We live in a very controversial time, society. And it's just exactly. There was women who were praising it. There was women who were critiquing it. There was men who were praising it. There was men critiquing it, and the whole thing just got bloody political. And
it was like Ghostbusters 2.0.
Yeah, and at the end, and in that case, I think it absolutely buried the film, whether it was good or not. It just got buried under so much debate.
Yeah, so much politicizing.
You know, to be fair though, in that case with Ghostbusters, I felt that the director and the was it Sony that released it, were really trying to push that agenda, and I think that was their mistake. If they had just left it alone and just go, this is a film, and that's all it is, it wouldn't have been so bad. But because I felt they had pushed that angle, you were always going to have the those that are pushing against push back, and it just, you know, it just didn't work for them in that instance. Whereas Patty's kind of, she's sort of said, oh, this is this, but she's never stood on a soapbox, you know what I mean?
Yeah. She's sort of just taking Wonder Woman for what she is. She's like, yeah,
absolutely.
This is an empowering character.
And always has been.
I don't give a shit that she's empowering when I make my movie. I just want to make a good movie.
Exactly. And I think that was, testimony. And that's the thing. I mean, that's why the average Joe should be able to just go watch that movie and enjoy it and not care about any of the other crap, because it's just a good movie.
That's right, and if they're empowering to you, then you'll feel empowered after watching it, not because it was their agenda, but because it affected you that way.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and if you're a 40-year-old fat guy like me, you're not getting empowered, but you can just go, well, that was a really good film and I like that character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, the only thing I'll say about this debate, before there's too much DC hating, because I'm such a massive DC fan, is I like Zack Snyder. I really appreciate the fact that he is earnestly said several times, like, I like this source material. I'm trying to do something good with it. I know a lot of people don't like Watchmen, like in general, but I love Watchmen, and I really like how much he tried to bring out the feeling of the comic book. But I think the issue with Zack Snyder that everyone keeps picking on him for is saying, like, get Zack Snyder out of the DCEU. They should keep him, but they should really relegate his responsibilities, because clearly the studio don't want his style, but they want his voice.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, Marvel's got that producer. What's his face? That just sort of oversees everything, right? I mean, what DC doesn't seem to have that, does it?
Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns. Yeah.
Well, get rid of him.
Well, no, I feel like no. So Jeff Johns has come on board since Wonder Woman. Like,
right. Yeah, Jeff Johns is
is he the one that's now saying everything's bloody segregated? Because
I don't think he's the one that said it. I think it was like a top exec within DC itself.
Then that top exec can fuck off.
Yeah, but like, I feel like
so says Toby from Pixel Pop Movie Podcast.
Quoted. They can fuck off.
They can fuck right off.
Quote end quote.
But Jeff Johns was actually brought on to right the ship in a capacity like Kevin Feige.
Right. Yeah. It makes sense.
I mean, they talk about Jeff Johns actually in the special features of Batman vs Superman, about the fact that they're like, he's so knowledgeable, he's really ingrained in the DC universe.
Well, take the leash off and let the man get on with his job.
Well, Jeff Johns actually, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but he actually wrote probably the most important DC storyline, which is Flashpoint.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That whole Flashpoint storyline is his creation, and like, ever since he came on and wrote that, like, he's just been phenomenal in everything. Like, everything he's touched has been gold within the comics. That I feel like bringing him into the films is the smartest move that they could do. But then, by doing that and being like, all right, cool, we need to have someone like Kevin to oversee all these movies. Let's get Jeff in. Jeff has a good vision and knows these characters from the books. He can help kind of bind this universe together, to them just be like, nah, we're gonna have like 3 Jokers, and like Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman and Aquaman, they exist in the same universe, but they're not in the same continuity. They're in the same continuity, but not in the same universe.
Imagine if we got another Wonder Woman.
Fucking dumb.
Imagine if we had another Wonder Woman.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Imagine if they're like, we're not happy with Gal's political stance on something. We're gonna get another Wonder Woman.
Wow. Oh, you watch. That will happen. That'll happen.
If that happens, I will single-handedly go get a large rock and a chisel and make their own tombstone for him.
Those DC execs you just told to fuck off just pitched your idea.
Yeah. All right. Let's enough hating on DC.
Plan.
They've done goofed. Next.
Yep. Let's get off DC. We're going to move over to Marvel now. We're going to actually go to the Fox universe. Probably the biggest piece of news coming out of the Gambit camp in about a year.
Is that he's dead?
No, Gore Verbinski is going to be directing the film. Who did the Pirates 1, 2, and 3? So
the only one's worth talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only ones anyone's actually watched at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. But I feel it's a good get. He's a good director. He knows what he's doing. Hopefully, he can get this off the ground now.
Is it still rated R? Do we know, or are they? What are they?
No,
doing?
no. It wasn't going to be rated R to begin with. It was just it was just going to be like a standard film.
Summer popcorn, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And Channing Tatum's still attached.
Right.
He's dedicated, isn't he?
Yeah, he wants to get this off the ground. Like, I don't know if you guys heard, but when he got announced as Gambit a few years ago at Comic-Con in San Diego, he actually did the voice of like Remy, and he sounds like dead on. Like, I can kind of like, after hearing him do the voice, because he said something like Mon Cherie or something.
When he was like, Nolan's accent's pretty hard to do.
Yeah, and he motioned for someone to come and get in that selfie that they did. And he's like, come on, Mon Cherie or something. And she came into the photo, and I'm like, what the fuck? Did I actually the Gambit voice? But yeah, he's committed to it. So
yeah, most of my Gambit voice lines come from X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Most of mine come from the animated series.
Kinetic card. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest news out of the Gambit team. In regards to Venom, though, which is the Sony universe that's, kind of going the way of what DC are trying to do, where it's inside the universe, but it's not, but it's its own continuity, but it's not. But Tom Holland might show up in it, but it's not tied to the MCU. Fucking idiots.
So basically, they just do like a 20-minute disclaimer before they actually announce any news. They're like, well, somebody is attached to it, but they're not really attached to it, but they might be attached to it, so don't be upset if they're not attached to it, but they might be there.
But they're definitely there, but just don't be mad if they're
Yeah,
not.
but just don't be upset if they're not.
Yeah, pretty much. But they've confirmed I feel this is two major gets for the film as well. Michelle Williams is going to be the female lead opposite Tom Hardy, and Riz Ahmed has joined the cast in an undisclosed role. So I'm really hoping he plays Carnage.
I was going to say Riz Ahmed as ethnically unintentionally changed Carnage.
Oh my god, I want him to be Carnage. Like, for those who don't know who Riz Ahmed is, he's going to be like a fucking star in the next 2 years. IMDb possibly could have just put a massive spoiler out there for Infinity War. So the next two things we're actually going to talk about are going to be spoiler-related Marvel stuff. So what we'll do is we'll leave like a tag in the comments just
Probably
to kind of skip forward, unless it depends on how much Toby wants to do.
Nah, probably not.
But the next two things we're going to talk about are pretty big spoilers for upcoming movies. So the first big one is that Tiffany Esperson, I can't say her name, I'm probably butchering it. That one.
Yeah.
She was in Spider-Man: Homecoming as a student by the name of Cindy. And IMDb put this video up, it goes for about 40 seconds, covering about her role in Spider-Man: Homecoming and the fact that she's now been cast in Infinity War. For those who kind of like know the name of Cindy, that's actually a character by the name of Cindy Moon, who later becomes Silk. Silk was actually bitten by the same spider that Peter Parker was, and she becomes a superhero like Peter.
Yep.
So
my friends call me MJ.
Don't.
No. Yeah, that
You
pissed
didn't
me
like
off
that?
too.
So I think is it Pascal or Feig came out and said she's not actually Mary Jane? Like,
Well,
that's
her
just
name's
kind
not
of
Mary anyway.
Yeah, because
No,
at
it's
the
Michelle.
end, they say like what her actual name is, and you're like, oh, okay, it's not Mary Jane. Why the fuck did you keep saying MJ throughout the whole goddamn?
No, they don't.
No,
they
reveal.
they
sorry,
call
the
her
other way
Michelle
around.
or whatever for the whole movie, and at the very end she goes, "My friends call me
That's
MJ,"
right.
and you're like, "Oh,
That's
what are you
right.
doing?"
Yeah, because her name's Michelle Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And her friends call her MJ, and it's like,
it just seemed like a
okay.
joke that fell flat.
Yeah, like I feel like it was meant to be kind of like a tip of the hat, not so much
Yeah.
But
Instead, everyone went,
yeah, dumb. Anyway, the next piece of the next piece of news. Apparently, 2 massive Thor Ragnarok cameos have been spoiled.
Really? I missed that.
Yeah.
Spoil me, baby.
So we're gonna definitely spoil Jesse because it sounds like he doesn't want to hear it. But the rumor has it Matt Damon was spotted on set of Thor Ragnarok.
Matt Damon. Do what?
And so not only was Matt Damon spotted on set, but at the same time, John Cena was spotted on set.
Oh, what? All right, okay, I've got it for you. I'm going to call it now. This is ridiculous. This is so stupid. It's not real, but I'm calling it now. Cena's Red Hulk, Damon's Grey Hulk. Dumb. Mic drop.
No,
Funny.
it's so much funny. It is so much funnier than that.
All right, we know who they are.
Yes, we know exactly who they're playing.
Oh my god.
You wouldn't, and you probably are not going to believe me.
All right.
But John Cena is playing Thor, and Matt Damon is playing Loki, and not only that, but they are playing Asgardian actors recreating the first film on Asgard.
Oh wow, so it's a cameo.
So,
Yeah, like it's a proper cameo where like
So
Matt Damon
good.
is in the full fucking Loki gear,
So
fighting John Cena dressed as Thor
Oh, that's awesome.
for like community
yeah, so
Asgardian
it's like
theater.
the Game of Thrones street theater thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But that apparently, that got leaked like a week ago, and I remember reading it at work and busting up laughing. I messaged Ethan, I think, messaged me about it and was like, "You got to see this." I was like, "What the fuck, man? This is just so. It's getting so meta." But like, that feels like something that Taika Waititi would do.
I was gonna say this is an opportunity missed. They picked John Cena. They shouldn't have picked him. They should have picked Ben Affleck.
Nah, he's tied up with DC. He wouldn't have been able to do it.
True,
Because Ben and Matt have been like thick as thieves from day dot.
But if that was the case, they'd have to get Ben as fucking Loki, and Matt Damon Matt would have to play Thor. But
And they could both have like Boston accents.
yeah, oh god, oh god,
Yeah,
Loki,
wow.
what are you,
Firefighters.
Loki, what are you doing?
This
Wait, no, fucking
Thursday,
one
this
day.
Thursday is the premiere too in down the road at the Gold
Yeah,
Coast.
down the Gold Coast.
I'm so tempted to go down with the camera.
Yeah, you should do it.
I'm tempted. I said I'm tempted. Didn't say I'm going to do it. I need more motivation than that.
Toby, do it.
No, can't. No.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are going to be at the premiere.
Matt Damon.
But yeah, so that's basically all the
In
news I've got.
costume.
So
Okay. Cool. Well, I think before we jump into what's happening at New York Comic Con, we should probably have a listen to the latest Dendy news. Just a quick one this fortnight. The Exorcist screenings at Dendy. Dendy cinemas across all locations are gearing up to host a series of spooky retro screenings themed to feature food, drink, and movements reminiscent of those in the movies. On Tuesday, the 31st of October, at both Canberra and Newton locations, Dendy is screening the classic horror film The Exorcist. On the fated night of Halloween, Dendy cinema goers can attend this R-rated 9pm session with tickets at just $15 for a Club Dendy ticket or $18 for everyone else. What an excellent day for an exorcism. Booking online has never been easier, as Dendy has said goodbye to booking fees. Patrons can now book online to secure their seats, skip the queues, and never pay booking fees again. There's more to love at Dendy. Alright, so, New York Comic Con. Da-da-da-da. Start with the trailers.
sorry, had a mouthful of food.
I bet it was food.
It was.
Nom, nom, nom.
Got a chicken sandwich.
It was Chris Hemsworth. You know,
Oh mate, just talking about John Cena as Thor. Whoa.
a mouthful of John Cena.
Somebody will sit there writing comments going, fucking Marvel fanboy, sucking Marvel's dick.
Did you end up watching The Wall?
No, I
No,
haven't
I
yet.
really
no.
want to.
Oh, okay, you should definitely watch The Wall. I mean, Cena's part, I won't lie, is not huge, but it's
Yeah.
not a bad film. No,
Pretty
it's quite good.
solidly.
Definitely put it on your one-day list. I mean, I'm sure it'll drift up on Amazon or Netflix or something eventually. Watch it. It's worth it.
All right, cool. So probably the biggest trailer that's come out of New York Comic Con this week.
Wasn't
Pacific Rim
Punisher. Okay, that's
Uprising.
very much for everything for New York Comic Con. We'll catch you next fortnight.
Disconnect.
Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim. We are talking about Pacific Rim.
All right, then.
Oh my
Local
god.
joke about, what's his name? Oh, God
John
damn it, I've
Boyega.
forgotten his
Well, it sure looked a lot better than the first one, but it did look a little bit campy too, I gotta say.
Better than the first one.
I didn't like the first one.
Motherfucker, taking off the gloves.
I actually really enjoyed the first one. I
So
thought
did
it was,
I.
It was
I
really
had so
fun.
many
It, like,
arguments about that.
The best thing about the
Like-
first one was Ron Perlman.
Oh, what? He's on screen for 10 minutes and gets
That's
eaten?
plenty. That's plenty. I'm a bit of I'm a bit of a Perlman fan.
but like I thought Idris Elba was good. Bern Corman, phenomenal as always. Charlie Day was the fucking highlight of that film. Like
Oh, Charlie Day.
Charlie Day is just incredible. I don't think I've seen a movie or a TV show that I haven't seen him in that I've not liked. Like,
So it looks to me in the trailer though
but
it looks to me in that trailer that the enemy creatures sort of Voltron up a little bit. There.
That's what I thought too.
Like
yeah.
it looked like they were sort of
Voltron.
merging. Do you think we might see the mechs sort of by end film
Do a Power Rangers.
do a Voltron? Can you fuck off, please? Voltron.
Voltron.
Voltron. Power.
It's all about
fucking-
Voltron.
Copycat motherfucker. Piece of shit. Voltron. They're gonna Voltron that shit up, and you're gonna have blue, yellow, red, white, black, whatever, all come together and just take it on, or
Red.
what?
Yeah, I feel like that'll happen. Like they're probably going to build to like, yeah, what are they
Oh,
called?
Mega Mech.
Jaegers.
Yeah. it's gonna be-
Jaegers.
Yeah.
The Mega
Make like a Mega Jaeger
The
against like,
Jägermeister.
oh my god, branding opportunity.
Yeah, there's someone suddenly drinking Jägermeister.
Oh my god,
That's
what
really,
it's leading.
it's really something.
That's what it's leading to.
That's terrible.
Oh, it'd be even better if it's like NASCAR and all the Jaegers have actual branding ambassadors like printed on them.
I'm gonna say that I'm a little surprised. There wasn't a lot coming out of New York Comic Con though. Like in terms, like compared to San Diego Comic Con, where you normally get like 400,000 trailers and you just can't keep up. This one's been a little bit more sedate.
No, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
There's actually been New York Comic Con tends to do a lot of TV trailer debuts and stuff. I'm just looking up one. There was a movie that came out for a movie called Replicas with Keanu Reeves in it. Apparently that's getting a lot of talk. It says he's like a scientist or something and his family dies in a car accident and he tries to bring them back, but they're kind of like, it's that whole thing of like, should he bring them back? But it looks kind of cool.
Okay.
But like a lot of the trailers that came out were for like TV shows and like as well as kind of like we're getting first episodes of stuff. half episodes of new shows coming up. I know that they released the first trailer for the third season of Man in the High Castle, which
I've seen the first
I've not
season.
seen yet.
I've seen the first season. I mean, it's based on a novel by, I think it's Philip K. Dick again, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's sort of there's no spoilers here. The hypothesis is about basically where, Hitler is able to, it's not time travel per se, but he's able to see what's going to happen. He can predict the future. And then he's able to change the outcome of the war.
I was about to say, wasn't the show... I didn't realise that was what the show was about. I thought the show was actually about
they realized
what if they won the war.
They realised that they're in a different reality, or they're not... I'm trying to remember the story. I can't remember if it's a case... I think in the original story, they realised they're in a book, or they're in a recording or something like that. I think it was. But I think in the TV show, they realised that there's more than one reality, and they may not be the real reality, so to speak. And then what's happening is Hitler is pulling history books out of our reality where he lost the war. And he's changing things. Yeah, and it's pretty deep in that sense. So I know season 2's up on Amazon, and I haven't sat down and watched it yet because I just haven't had the time. So, but definitely, it was quite good. There was the acting for the most part was good. I remember one or two actors, and I was just sort of like questioning their motives a little bit. Like some of it didn't necessarily. Like I remember the female lead was just very much like, oh, they captured you and tortured you. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't feel so genuine in some regards. But overall, I thought it was quite good. Definitely enough that I'd sit down and watch the second season.
Yeah, it's one that I've kind of got on my list that I want to watch, but just need to find the time.
I don't think it was out of NYCC, but I saw the Netflix teaser trailer too for Dark, and that looked very interesting. I don't even know if that's in English, to be honest.
Yeah, that's actually not a Netflix show. It's Norwegian. It's like what they do with it's like what they do with Riverdale and stuff here, where they just air it week to week on Netflix. Like the distribution deal is through Netflix in Australia.
The Mist was Spike TV, stuff like that.
Right.
So we're getting it week to week, but I think it's like Norwegian or Swedish or something.
That's fine. It looks pretty. Well, it looks pun. Looks very dark.
They make some great TV over there.
Yeah. But another one of the major, I wouldn't say major, but like a big one for the New York Comic Con crowd, with third season trailer for Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently his daughter's in it now.
Oh my god. So is his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Who he had a kid with, which the woman's name, this is why I love this show, right? It's so fucking ridiculous. Even though, like, obviously he's done all this shit with the demons, and he's taken on Ruby, and like, you got all these deadites taking over the world. His ex-wife's name is Candy Bar. And his daughter's name is Brandy.
Brandy Bar.
Brandy Bar. And Brandy and Ash team up with I can't remember the other two names, but like the two that he's been traveling with the whole series.
Yeah.
So the four of them are sitting in the car, and looks like Ruby's coming back again, like she's risen again, and they're going after her. So there's nothing online for it. I'm just kind of going off what I've read and like things people have said, but from what I've heard, it sounds like it's just going to be as insane as the first two seasons.
That's such a good show.
It's great. It's so funny. Like, and if you guys like anyone that's listening that is like an Evil Dead fan of like the old school movies, like you have to check it out. It kind of captures that comedy of the second one, which I feel like the second one's the best one.
It depends what you're looking for. It depends what you. It was just a case. I mean, they were both very like camp, but the second one realized it and then started taking the Mickey out of itself.
Yeah.
The second one knew what it was. And like I feel like that's what this show knows exactly what it is and the type of audience it's catering towards. And then Hulu also had a pretty good showing. They normally get a pretty decent crowd at New York Comic Con. Not so much at San Diego because everything's all about Marvel, DC, Netflix. Like it's kind of all the big guns. Hulu's kind of start to push their stuff around New York Comic Con. We got the first full-length trailer for the Runaways, which is going to be set inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well, which. Yep. The Runaways is a great comic book. Kind of came around at a time for me where it was like I was a teenager as well, so I kind of related to like, you know, the whole like, you know, my parents are evil, like, you know, if they don't do what you want them to do, and it's like, no, they turn out they're actually evil, like they're bad guys. But the trailer for it looked amazing, so I'm pumped for Runaways. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
You're pumped for everything Marvel.
Fucking Marvel fanboy.
You are.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a self-described Marvel fanboy. Like, I've never hidden it.
Yeah.
But I also like DC. Like, I'm one of the few, I think, that's really liking Rebirth, like the comic books that they're running.
You're
now.
such a Marvel fanboy. How come you haven't watched Inhumans yet?
I got
Revoking your Marvel fanboy card.
Yeah,
I got better things to do.
No free cafe latte for you.
Nah, I'll
off next cinematic release.
I'll probably just watch it when it all comes out, I think.
Can we talk about my boyfriend now?
One more. There's one more.
All right, one more
trailer.
Okay.
Which I feel like is probably the best trailer I've seen this weekend. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I recommend it. It's a TV show Hulu are doing called Future Man, which has got Josh Hutcherson from Hunger Games and the Journey movies. He's done heaps of other shit. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but he's like a slacker that works as a janitor at a genetics corporation, who plays video games almost like semi-pro, and he ends up getting recruited a la something like The Last Starfighter into fighting a war for the future.
Oh, okay.
It looks fucking hilarious.
Okay,
like there's one point where
I'll have to go look for that.
There's one point where they're talking about like murdering a baby, and he's like literally like, we're not killing a kid, and the two people who come back in time to team up with him are like, why not? It's a baby. Like, who cares? Babies are like babies are soft and easier to kill. Like, we won't have any pressure on our knives. Like, it is just brutal, and it looks fucking funny. Like, I'm super pumped for it. And it's also written and produced by Seth Rogen. Fun fact, going back to like the whole J.J. Abrams thing, two things we didn't talk about that we were going to. But J.J. Abrams is producing Castle Rock.
This is fine. This is good.
This is okay.
This is all right. Let's talk about your boyfriend now.
Yeah, boy.
In more unfortunate news.
Yes, definitely.
Like definitely in like very somber news with everything that happened in Las Vegas. You know, the Netflix and Marvel have actually revealed that this last Friday, so the 5th, they were actually going to drop The Punisher, but due to everything that happened in Las Vegas, they decided to push that out. Probably the smartest thing that they could do. Let kind of everything from that situation just cool off and just kind of not get caught in the controversy of putting something out that might be a bit insensitive to that situation. So they haven't still announced the date. Everything's still redacted, but they actually aired the first episode of it at New York Comic Con, and it's gotten a lot of good reviews.
Right.
I
mean, it was kind of. I mean, in a way, I'm kind of happy because like I was working Friday night. Then last night I had my 40th birthday party. And I woke up pretty hungover this morning, and I wouldn't have been in any mood to watch, 13 hours of Punisher.
Yeah, I
Who am I kidding? I absolutely would have been in the mood for 13 hours. I'm always in the mood for 13 hours of Punisher. Hurry the hell up! I just hope I'm hoping they don't drop it while I'm away for PAX, but then I don't think they'll drop it too close to Stranger Things.
I was about to say they won't drop it around Thor Ragnarok either.
Yeah, I think it was either going to be before everything, which was now, or I think they'll wait till sort of this time next month.
I think it's going to drop somewhere between Stranger Things and Star Wars. Like, it'll drop in like I think that might go now for the November date that we were talking about.
Yeah, which is about this time next month. So
yeah, pretty much. So
that's just fine. That's good. I'm make a weekend of it.
Yeah. Leading on from there, though, a name that some people might not be familiar with, but Gabriel Luna was actually cast in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as...
Who's she?
Who's she? It was the guy. It was the guy that was cast as Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, see, I didn't watch that shit.
Wasn't a boring guy whose name I forgot from Rogue One?
Riz Ahmed.
No, Gabriel Luna when he's in Rogue One. He's Captain...
He wasn't in Rogue One.
Yeah, he was.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Nah.
Excellent. 15 minutes of this. I can loop this. Keep going.
No, he was.
Yes, he was.
Gabriel Luna was Captain Cassian fucking Forget-Me-Not guy.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. I'm looking this shit up.
Yeah, so am I. Diego Luna, you muppet.
Oh, whatever. They're all fucking looters.
Diego, wow. It's getting into it.
Oh, you all sound alike.
Oh, boo. But no, Gabriel Luna, he's real young. He's like 21, 22, but he was cast.
So I'm on the same boat as Toby now. Who is she?
Yeah.
Who is she? So Gabriel Luna's confirmed, or hasn't really confirmed, but has said that there are rumblings of a spin-off Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ghost Rider series.
Why?
But why?
Well, from what I've only seen the first few episodes, and I thought he was really good as the Ghost Rider. He's had a lot of positive reception to
From
his
everything
portrayal.
I read, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was going to get fucking axed hard, and it only got kept around for another season because they obviously want to tie it into Infinity War.
And then Disney swung their dick and got it made.
Right,
You like
but
that?
that's it. You're not going to get season 5. That's it. Done, dusted, gone.
Yeah, I feel like once season 5, because like, I want to like talk about it because I feel like with the way the MCU is going in terms of the films, where this show is going to pick up from the finale of season 4, it's very important to the films. And it's very important.
You know what?
And it's very
Between
important
now
to
and
what they're
next
doing
fortnight-
in Humans as well.
Between now and next fortnight, you know what you need to do for me is find out the viewing stats for the Fox stuff and then the viewing stats for the Netflix stuff. I'd be curious to see what sort of numbers, you know.
We don't get numbers from Netflix.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because the Netflix stuff. So the way that they do the ratings as the States is live ratings, and then they add on the 20. I think they call it 24-hour viewer share.
Right.
So it's basically everyone that's DVR'd it that's watched it within the first 24 hours.
I would argue though that the Netflix stuff is doing a lot better.
I would say so.
It is like excluding what some people will say Iron Fist and maybe Defenders. Like it
Yes.
has a higher quality than.
Maybe not true
Agents-
of Shield when it first started, season 1s and 2s and stuff, but certainly where it's at now, I feel it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I actually feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got better.
So is a spin-off going to save it, and is a spin-off going to work? Is a question.
I think the spin-off could work because, like, I don't know. Like, the thing is, I don't know if he'd be able to carry his own show because he's not really done much
Yeah.
except for Ghost Rider.
Right.
So they would be
think
going
they-
purely
yeah.
off the name recognition.
But do we know who's got Blade? Has anyone got that yet? I mean, Marvel has it. Yeah, I know Marvel has it, but is it being? Do we know if it's being handed to anyone for a TV series? Like, is it going to get handed?
Wasn't there mention of a TV show of Blade?
It's been
they-
and ahed and talked about, but I don't know if like Fox has it or if they've given it to Netflix or whatever have you.
Nah, so the rumor is that they could be developing Blade and Moon Knight into Netflix series.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a
'cause
bit
I know
biased here, but I prefer the Netflix stuff to the Fox stuff, and I think Netflix do it better.
they can't do Blade and have it on ABC.
That is also true.
There's no way. Like, look at how I think it's in the best hands with Netflix because.
And I tell you what,
like,
I mean, I know you hate hearing it, but Punisher, it just let me finish. In terms
No,
of
no,
how
no,
far
I
you
was-
can push an R rating on Netflix is going to be very interesting to see because even if you don't ever watch it because he's not your cup of tea, it's a case of is this going to open the door for some very interesting content to follow?
I was literally going to bring up Punisher. Like, I was seriously going to say, like, look at what they were able to do and how dark they were able to take that character. Like, they do exactly the same with Blade, except they make him ultra violent. Like,
Yeah.
but like as well with Punisher, we've only kind of seen one side of Punisher. Like, you and I, and you, like, all three of us know how dark that comic book gets,
Oh yeah.
and how dark his history is. Like, they're going to start to tap into that.
There's
now
stuff
with
in
his-
those
with his
comic
own
books,
solo.
especially in the Max series, that you still couldn't do on film. Like,
Fuck no.
There's just stuff you just could, like when she's on top riding him and they're having sex, and as she orgasms, she blows her own head off with a shotgun. I mean, like, you're just
I don't
not
think
going
they're
to
gonna
put
go
that
that
on
far.
film, right? It's
I
sort
don't
of.
think anyone actually wants to watch that.
No, but it's sort of like some of that anime stuff that gets gratuitously violent. You know, you see those
Yeah.
R-rated anime movies, you're like, okay, this is a hard R because it's a cartoon, but if you made this a movie, live action, it would just get banned.
Yeah, fuck oath.
They'd just be like, oh no, this won't translate.
So I'm just, as I said, even if you never watch Punisher, it's going to be really interesting, not just with Marvel stuff, but with because I mean, obviously HBO has certainly opened the doorway for a lot more graphic stuff, especially sexually or in nudity and all the rest of it with Game of Thrones and things like that, and just allowed for more mature content, which is great for people that are looking for mature content. And it'd just be interesting to see how Netflix, because I mean, Game of Thrones is without a doubt, made more money in terms of a TV show than probably anything that's ever come before. And it's extremely mature, so I wonder if Netflix is sort of looking at that going,
Yeah, well, I mean, like, on the topic of HBO, like, I know there's a lot of detractors of Game of Thrones that are like, like the stats that came out where they said, there was a lot more butts and boobs in seasons 1 to 3 than there is now.
There was, yeah.
Have you heard of the HBO show Big Little Lies?
No.
Yeah, that's the one with Nicole Kidman, eh?
Yeah, well, that one, like, that, while that's not Game of Thrones and it's set in the real world, there's some full-on, like, very serious, mature themes about, like, spousal abuse and, like, violent, aggressive sex fetishes and stuff like that in that show. And that's the kind of thing that I was watching. I was like, holy shit, this is like suburban nightmare kind of stuff. And, HBO are really pushing the envelope of things that I wouldn't expect to see in television. So I would like to see Netflix really push that with Marvel as well, because there's some really dark
you can do
shit
it now with streaming as well, because you as a parent, you can have a lot more control over what various family members can see.
That's right, yeah.
So it allows them to, because you can't put certain things on public television because just because it's on at 10:30 doesn't mean it's not going to get seen by an 8-year-old.
Yeah, but like as well, they can kind of get away with that shit on like HBO to a lesser extent. Well, actually, to the exact same extent, Showtime. Like Showtime in the US, like that's the channel that did stuff like Dexter and Homeland, and like those two are like the major cable companies. Like anything that's on cable or that's on streaming, like they don't really conform to the same.
I'm pretty sure, like
standards.
US cable, you might have to ask your lovely partner, but I'm pretty sure they have lockout options as well on the cable boxes
yeah,
to
they
stop
do.
certain channels and viewers and times and things.
Yeah, they do. Like anything that goes above a certain rating will get blocked.
I think the
because that also then leads into Spawn, which is not going to be R-rated.
No. So like, in what I feel like is a complete 180 on what Todd McFarlane was saying. So for those that don't know about the Spawn movie, Todd McFarlane's writing, directing, producing. He's going the whole hog on this,
which is a good thing.
It could be.
It should be.
What's the name of that Stephen King movie he directed where he just did mountains of cocaine and just made one of the worst films ever?
Wait, where Stephen King did it? Maximum Overdrive?
Yeah, Maximum Overdrive.
The first and only movie he directed.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of an example of someone who believes that no one can handle their source material going and making their source material worse.
Oh, yeah, although that's not relevant in King's case, because King loves everything that everyone else does with his work.
He does.
Except for Stanley Kubrick, the only person that did anything artistic with his work.
Well, yeah, true. But he loved the new It.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like Todd McFarlane hasn't had anything to do with film, so I feel like this is a mistake. But we'll see what happens when it comes out.
Did he produce the original Spawn?
He produced. He was there as like a creative
producer
consultant.
in name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they've confirmed that Spawn will begin production early next year, like literally as in February. Like it's going to be real early. And all the pre-production work is beginning after Christmas. So between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
They go in to start building props and sets. And
what channel's that coming out on, or service? Do we
film.
know? Oh, a film. Oh, okay. I thought it was a series.
Proper feature film. He also said, so this was at a panel at New York Comic Con where he confirmed all these details. This is probably the biggest piece of news that's come out over the weekend until we get the Justice League trailer tomorrow. But the film's due to start production in February with pre-production beginning between Christmas and New Year's. He's also confirmed the film's going to have a $10 million budget and no studio interference.
Okay. So this,
sure.
yeah, okay. I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. 10 million? 10 million.
Yeah.
Okay. No, yeah.
Okay, Adam Sandler.
But yeah, he's apparently, so it's him and Stephen Blum, who's the head of Blumhouse Studios.
Oh, okay.
They're actually the ones putting it together. So
that could be a good thing, or it could be a really bad thing.
Well, like Blumhouse has had a hand in some really good horror movies lately. So
yeah, they have. But they also lend their umbrella name out to some really bad horror movies as well.
Well, they do, but they're not actively involved in those movies. Like
No.
the movies that they're actively involved in turn out great. Look at Get Out.
I think
Yeah,
if
Get
it's
Out.
if it's
Look
10
at
mil,
Split.
you're
like,
not going to see hell with $10 million budget.
No, I feel this is going to be 100% on Earth. The only
Yeah.
special effects we're going to get are literally Spawn and whoever ends up versing.
Even then, it's going to be a pretty dialed back Spawn. It's it's probably an origin story sort of thing where and it's
He turns into him at the end.
kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's going to be like Spider-Man in his first outfit kind of thing.
Yeah, but
maybe.
I mean, like 10 million. Like when you think about it,
Is nothing to me.
we
It's
had this
absolutely
conversation a little while ago about like the amount of money that films get given these days, and like for me, I think it's ludicrous. Some of the money that gets put into film is just way too
Yeah,
much
but
money.
you can make a rom-com for 10 mil. You're not going to make
Yeah.
an action film with a superhero that's predominantly, you should be surrounded by CG. Like, it just, the 10 mil is not going to work.
No, but I mean, it like you said before, being set on Earth, it might depend on which direction they're going to take Spawn. Because look at what they did with the old Spawn. Like there was a lot of bad CG in that movie, and maybe that might make them a bit
Seriously, if his
hesitant.
budget's only 10 mil, I reckon he's better off just making it an animated.
I think it'd be better
Yeah.
off just make it into a friggin' TV show.
Or that, yeah.
Does Spawn have the back catalogue though to make it a TV? Well, I suppose it would have a back catalogue to make it a TV show.
Any
Yeah.
comic book does, really.
With Spawn, like the McFarlane stuff has always been pretty. Like he had a hand in Lobo back in the day, didn't he?
On the comics, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I know they were shopping around Lobo for a while there, and it's sort of gone quiet there. But like that was something that I was really excited to see because of when they announced Spawn the other day. I was like, holy shit! Todd McFarlane's actually doing something.
It's a bit of a pity, though. I mean, because Spawn is a well-known character, and he's been around a long time. A lot of people enjoy the character, and they've got all the action figures and statuettes and stuff. And I remember seeing the comic books and stuff like that. But it's never gotten a lucky break,
And it's never been publicly accessible enough to get a lucky break.
Yeah, you know what it needs? It needs a Netflix series
Yeah,
with
it
a
does.
budget to do it properly. That's what it needs.
Yeah.
Because you think about Daredevil prior to Netflix, and it's shit.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's shit, right? And Elektra, shit, terrible. And then Netflix came along and did it proper. Like, that's kind of what Spawn needs.
And they did it on a downplayed level where they're like, this guy's a blind dude that beats the shit out of people. We don't need like crazy CGI for this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, is that everything for?
That's I mean that's the major stuff. They still have one more day, and I feel like there's going to be a heap of news that'll come out over the next 24 hours. But
well, we might put together a bit of a quick article, or we'll do some posts on our Facebook page with any eventualities.
yeah, for sure. But I'll try and get over the next week. Just get the trailers and stuff put up on the Facebook page as well. Just so if people want to see these trailers, they know what we're talking about. They can just see them through the Facebook page. So
It's time to sing.
dun,
Dun 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 dun.